Welcome to the channel, viewers. Dr. J.W. Ayub, theologist since 1994. We're in Muhammad, so near the revelation, so far from the Saviour. Episode 45. When love started surrounding and sounding stronger than fear. The room no longer merely feels burdened now. It feels divided against itself. That is what several ordinary followers increasingly begin sensing beneath Muhammad's proclamation. Though many still cannot explain why mercy now feels more powerful than the fear controlling them. A younger man sits silently during a gathering while respected voices speak about purity, judgment, sacrifice, weakness, and loyalty beneath exhausted torchlight. The words still command obedience, but they no longer quiet the soul. Several men stared downward while warnings about imminent enemies, compromise, and contamination moved through the room with growing intensity. Yet, something inside the ordinary listener has started resisting the atmosphere itself. Not rebelliously, not publicly, but painfully. Because the deeper Muhammad's movement intensifies fear, the more another question quietly emerges beneath it. What if reconciliation with God cannot grow through hatred at all? And viewers, that transformation matters enormously. Because ideological systems accelerating toward absolutism eventually require enemies in order to survive emotionally. Yet the Messiah of the people of the book, the people that Muhammad came to join, and was rejected because of his message, spoke about something civilization itself struggles to comprehend. The Messiah spoke about love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, bless those who hate you. Not because evil becomes good, but because divine love refuses to become spiritually deformed by hatred itself. And for the Muslim, the degeneration deepens there, viewers, not merely through violence externally, through inward corrosion, through ordinary men increasingly discovering that fear cannot unite crowds while quietly destroying the human soul and human life beneath and around them. One follower privately notices he no longer recognizes the hardness growing inside himself toward outsiders, repeatedly described as threats to sacred destiny. Another publicly nods during warnings about enemies while secretly wondering why the movement increasingly resembles emotional imprisonment instead of spiritual restoration. And the structure is changing existentially now. Suspicion expands, mercy weakens, while the soul suffocates spiritually. The movement no longer merely regulates belief, sacrifice, obedience, identity, fear, and even life and death. It increasingly regulates who deserves compassion, who deserves peace, and who still qualifies as fully human beneath Islamic righteousness itself. A quieter man notices how quickly emotionally intense personalities now speak about enemies with contempt, while simultaneously speaking about purity with reverence. Another quietly remembers hearing fragments from the people of the book that the Messiah taught humanity to love even those who persecute them. And the thought unsettles him deeply, because it exposes something terrifying. Fear can enforce obedience, but only love can heal hatred itself. Nobody openly says the soul is becoming spiritually deformed. Nobody needs to. The atmosphere already teaches that. And for the Muslim, the pressure grows heavier there, because viewers, once righteousness becomes fused with hostility towards enemies, ordinary human beings slowly begin losing the ability to distinguish holiness from emotional hardening itself. Several men now publicly praise devotion while privately feeling relational emptiness spreading through their inner lives, despite everything they continue surrendering for Muhammad's proclamation. One speaker warns that excessive compassion towards enemies weakens sacred resolve. The room absorbs the warning immediately. Yet this time, something different happened. Not peace, not rebellion, recognition. One follower now experiences guilt merely for realizing he longs for love, stronger than fear. Another increasingly senses that beneath all the sacrifice, law, judgment, violence, and radical striving surrounding the ideology, humanity remains spiritually unreconciled precisely because it cannot heal hatred through hatred. And viewers, perhaps this becomes one of the defining transitions in the trajectory ahead. Ordinary men increasingly stop asking how to defeat enemies and begin silently wondering whether reconciliation with the Father requires being transformed by a love fear itself could never produce. The movement demanded purity. The Messiah revealed mercy. And where fear slowly consumed the soul through condemnation, the Messiah quietly began revealing another reality entirely. love stronger than judgment, grace stronger than shame, and reconciliation stronger than hatred itself. I'm Dr. J.W.A., youth theologist since 1994. Like, subscribe, comment to educate me, share to help somebody else. And in the next episode, viewers, we will go to when forgiveness started feeling more powerful than punishment.